Wow. Wow, I have lots to say. I have to first of all say that it truly is, 2.5 years later, I really do feel like a new distributor again. Because I can actually really feel the beginning, when it all started. And that's what, sometimes when you're on the journey and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, you don't have time to stop and think of what's really happening and how your life is, changing. And it's been an exciting 2.5 years. It's been 2.5 years of building the most incredible friendships. And, when we started this 2.5 years ago, we weren't looking for an opportunity. So how many of you just sort of had it fall into your lap? You weren't looking for an opportunity. Okay. I think at the end of the day, we just don't think something like this exists, right? Mm-hmm. So, but when it came to you, you just knew that there was something in this, and you just had to do it. So you went with it, and that's why you're here. And it's that initial decision that you make. And even though we weren't looking, I just needed a product that was going to help me out with my back pain. So it all really starts with that product. But then I did, go from not listening at the presentation or the one-on-one tasting to listening and just catching some stuff. And it's amazing because the person who brings you the story has their own story, And we didn't know Judy and Darren's at the time, but they had driven 4 hours all the way from Kelowna. They were there sharing Monavie with somebody else, and they had one of their distributors call them up and say, look, there's a girl who needs to hear about the juice. So let me ask you, how many of you would jump in your car and drive for 4 hours to meet one person about juice? Okay. And those of you who didn't put up your hand, just remember that if you really are serious about changing your life in whatever way you need to change it, okay, you will do that next time somebody calls you up and says, I have one person who needs to hear about the juice. It wasn't I have one girl who wants to become a Hawaiian blue diamond and a black diamond. It was I have a girl who wants to hear about the juice. So Judy and Darren jumped in their car and they came and they shared. And it was one of those tastings, that should have really taken 45 minutes. That's about how long my one-on-ones would take, no more than an hour. It took Judy about 4 hours to get through this one-on-one. It wasn't her fault. It was because I was all over the place, and Judy just kept smiling, and I was feeding my kids, I was cleaning, oh, wait a second, I'll be right back. And I'd disappear, and I'd come back 20 minutes later. She just kept smiling, and she waited and waited and waited. And then she started talking about the business, and I was selling real estate at the time, and I had a financial services business and a wedding decor business, so 3 things on the go. A new baby, so I had my daughter who was turning 9, and my son who was turning a year old, and, didn't have room for anything else. So you can imagine my husband would have been a little skeptical, too much on the go, right? But anyhow, when she did talk about it, it was like something started to happen in my gut. I thought, wow. Maybe this is that thing that me and my husband can do together. Maybe if there's just one other story, and she told me 2 stories. She told me the Nan story, she told me the Jan Kirkich story. And Judy at the time was a silver executive. And by the end of the presentation, I listened and I said, Judy, if this juice is as good as you say it is, let's do this. And I said, one condition, I need you to be there for me like all the time. Will you do that? And she said, well, yes. What do you mean? I said, if I call you, you'll take all my calls. And she said, yes. And I said, no, I mean like a lot. I call, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to call you like 5, 6 times a day, 7 times. She said, okay, absolutely. We high-fived, and that was the beginning of the rest of our life. Financially, you guys, we were doing just fine. Gary's family had built a pretty awesome business for us, so we didn't have a lot of financial worries. But this is really important because there was something more that we needed out of life. There's a lot of people in here who may be business people, and I always tell people, don't judge business people. Don't think, oh, they have it all. because there's still something more. I mean, this business, for those of you who need to be set free financially and you need to pay your bills and you need to, you know, and that was Judy and Derek's story, which we didn't know until about 4 months later when they went Blue Diamond. So that's what it did. We high-fived. They went from silver to Blue Diamond, you guys, in 4 months. And in 6 months, 6 months Blue Diamond, and it changed their life and it changed our life in the way that we needed more meaning. Okay, so that video that they just did, which we were blessed and honored to be featured in, Montague, A More Meaningful Life. This business has brought so much meaning to our life. It has brought us our friends for life. We wake up in the morning, we have the same goal, the same vision to go out there and help another new family. You know, because we always know there's going to be somebody new who's going to come into our life, just the way that Judy and Derek came into our life, the way we came into their life. We know there's somebody out there waiting. So when you're afraid of opening your mouth, you know, don't be, just like Holly says, just say something. That one little simple question, have you ever heard of Montague? Okay, that's what Denise asked me, and that was that one question that changed our life. And there is so much more to this business than just what you see. It's, you know, as you go along this journey, I mean, the quality of friends, you know, to have people push you up rather than bring you down. You know, that is the greatest gift to wake up with every single morning, when you know that you're going to wake up and the people that are going to call you, you're going to call. It's all about bringing each other up and getting you to where you need to go. So I could go on and on and on, and all I can tell you is, you know what, we're in this for life. We're going Black Diamond. We're have an amazing team. They really, that's part of them. All of our goals, who are just got fed up with being gold and decided to go ruby, emerald, diamond. It's happening now. We are just getting started. Okay? This really isn't work. What you guys do in regular jobs, or what Gary does during the summer season, the 16, 17 hours a day that he works, yes, it's great money. It's a lot of responsibility, you guys. It's a lot of investment. It's 16, 17 hours a day when it's berry season. We don't see this, man. So I just want to tell you that, there is nothing like it out there. Just go and make it happen. Talk to people. You know, step into the fear and do it anyways. It's a life-changing business opportunity. And I'm going to pass it over, and maybe I'm just going to get Hassan to